Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. My name is Fatia Muin and welcome to 10 Minutes Thursday where I shared with you some anecdotes, some stories that has happened in the past 20 years of my working life. Yeah, so some of the stories that I think worth sharing because it has a lot of wisdom in it, something that I think will help people to be more engaging at work. So today I'm going to share about a day when I cried at work. No big deal, right? People cried at work. It's kind of normal. But for me, I most of the time I cry because of personal problem. Work problem mostly I can handle. Tough cookies like that. But this one happened during my early days working as a trainer. This was the time when I was working at a software company, and as a trainer, as a trainer, I need to train end users. I was quite new being a trainer. You see, my background is software and animation, and my first job was a multimedia designer and instructional designer. So this is really my first official training job. I feels good to deal with the end users, though my job really was to teach people how to use the software. I'm a IT student. Software is something that I can handle, right? It's an accounting software though, but because I kind of score 8 in my SPM, Principle of Account paper, so good. It's good enough for me to teach the software. And I love account anyway, so I feel good about teaching this. Now, once in a while, the company will release a new version of the software. So other than updating, my job really what is in the JD said I need to teach end users, and I need to update the training material when there's an upgrade, right? So that's all I need to worried about. So that day, because of the new features launching, we need to share about the new features with our resellers. So how the business work is, there will be a resellers who actually sold the software to the users as well. So for the briefing, I was hoping that I thought, like, okay, maybe the sales manager or the marketing manager will handle it. I mean, I have nothing to do with it. They're not end users, right? But boy, I was wrong. They asked me to do the presentation instead, and I'm like, okay, couldn't be that bad, right? I mean, they are human being. I can handle them. At least that's what I thought. But still, I was wondering, why can't the sales manager or marketing manager do it? So yeah, on the event day, I saw them come in one by one, all very senior people, whatnot, and then it dawned to me that these people are the experienced users. Unlike my end users, they are new, so I have the advantage of knowing the software more than them, so it's easy for me to teach them. That the people who walked in on that room that day are not only the resellers who sell the software only, but they are also the software users, which means they are an accountant or an auditor who actually prepare the account for their clients using the software, which means their experience with the softwares are more than me. They're like 5-6 years ahead of me, and I'm like, okay, so they are the experienced users, right? And debit credit are basically their everyday lingo. Not like me. I'm an IT student. that's my fear lah back then. But anyway, I guess I know the software well enough. I know what are the updates well enough. So I stand there in front of the crowd and start presenting. And I start presenting. Then I one by one, they raise their hand and start asking questions. Some of the questions I can answer, but some of it are not even questions. They are basically grievance. They're grieving about the software. They're complaining about the software. They're not happy about the software. They're not happy about the software, but they're not happy that the features that they're asking are not yet updated or not yet they are not yet placed in the software. I'm like, okay, I was sweating in front of the crowd. I just look at them, look at my manager, look at the sales manager, look at the marketing manager, like, help me. I mean, don't know, right? I mean, some of the questions or the grievance I couldn't even understand. Mind you, I was only like in the first year of that job. So, well, I know the software. I don't know the software history well enough for me to be able to like, hey, you, this is what it is. I mean, I'm a young trainer anyway. So they look at me like, who is this young person? I don't see her face last year, something like that. So after the presentation, I went to toilet, and this is where I cried. I had my breakdown. I was sobbing in the toilet because I feel it's so unfair. You know, back then I was like, it's so unfair. I have to face these people. It's so hard. Can I do this job? This is just my first year. Should I quit and do other things? Like, why do I have to face all this thing, being attacked by these people? I just feel so down. So I called my dad, my late father. I was sobbing, and I called him, and I told him that it's so hard. I do not know how to do presentation. This is really bad. They ask me questions I'm not able to answer. I don't know what to do. I feel humiliated, blah blah blah. I told him, and my father was a teacher, so and he just listened to me, and he told me this. In a classroom full of adults, there bound to be people who think that he or she knows it all. Which is not their fault, right? They're adults, so they know what they know, and of course they don't know what they know, but some people just want to pretend that they know more than you. Therefore, when dealing with these people, you need to then ask them questions. Let them because they want to be the person who knows it all, let them be it. Ask them questions, because if they know the answer, they will want to answer you. So you don't have to do it for them. Let them answer. Let them do it. So if they ask you questions, it's okay to ask them back, because chances are they know the answer. They want to show you that they are better than you, which is okay. Let them be. Ask questions to these people, because they're bound to be someone, even not this person or somebody else in the room, who knows the answer, and they want to use it. I haven't thought of that, I told him. Okay, I'll use it next time, I told him. And yeah, I hang up, I feel better, and feel good. Not long after that, he came to KL, and both of us love bookstore, so we both went to MPH, and he gave me a book entitled How to Do a Presentation. I don't have that book anymore, which is a bummer. But this is one of the book that, when you went to MPH, there's this bookshelf that you can, that looks like a card holder, where you move it around and you pick a book. Yeah, I still remember that book. I read that book, and I feel much better after that. And yeah, that is my love story with that. We are connected by books. In fact, some of the books behind me are his. So if nowadays I cry, like I could not call him because he's no longer around, I just flip his book and I feel much better. But anyway, going back to what he told me, not long after that, I went for TTT training, and I learned about the principle of adult learners. And then I realized that that is true. And even in my profession right now, after many years of being a trainer, that is exactly what I did in my class, whatever my dad say. The way to engage adults in class is not by feeding them with all the informations. The best is to engage them by involving them in that true discussion. As a trainer, as an adult trainer, you are not teaching. You are basically facilitating the learning discussion. Get them involved by asking them questions, or by getting them to ask you questions. And again, not every question you have an answer with, so throw it back to the crowd, and someone in the group bound to know the answer. So that's first lesson, right? Number 2, when your participants are bombarding you with questions, smile, because it means they are engaged. If they are not engaged, they just sit there looking at their phone, looking around, not bothering you, and that is even worse. I rather had a participant who bombard me with questions that I do not know the answer, than having them just stare at me blankly and like, what is she talking about? Really. So be blessed that you are able to engage them anywhere, and they want to have that interaction with you. Enjoy, rejoice, and at the same time, learn how to manage the crowd. Ask them back the questions, or if really nobody knows the answer, you can just say, I overlooked this matter. If you don't know the answer, you can say, I overlooked this matter, I will get back to you with the answer later, right? Or if there are just too much questions and you know that by answering all questions you won't be able to finish your syllabus, you can just say, let's park the questions and I will address you at the end of the session. If you are interested to know the answer to all these questions, stay. I will address it after this, but right now I really need to move on and continue with my syllabus. Okay, so I hope the story helps you understanding, you know, how to manage people who knows it all in your classroom, because yes, they're bound to be person like that. Um, and yeah, when really tough thing happens, you know, find someone who you can have a conversation with, that you feel good about, and you know, and talk to them. All right, 10 minutes is up. Tell me your own story, your own version of when you cried at work. What happened? What you did to manage it, and whatnot. Until then, stay safe, and I'll see you next week with more workplace story. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a good day.